Y'all ever see that Futurama episode with the gray people from the neutral planet? You know, the ones that don't have an opinion about anything and don't stand up for anything. Then Zach Brannigan just massacres them because he's an idiot with way too much power and they won't stand up against him. So anyway, how about those Senate Democrats? Honestly, rooting for the Senate Democrats to do anything is starting to feel a lot like rooting for the Minnesota Vikings. We have a few really great players on the team and we're always way too over-reliant on them to make the plays for us. Then every time it seems like we're about to win a game or just make a massive play, we fumble the football or throw an interception for a 90-yard return touchdown. I don't know if any of this analogy is making sense. I don't really watch football, but like it just feels like it because we were so close. Like we had the opportunity to just make a massive play with a government shutdown. And the House of Representatives understood the fucking assignment for once. AOC and Nancy Pelosi were on the same page. Like, this is our leverage. We need to shut this shit down and force Republicans to come negotiate. And then Chuck Schumer snaps the ball and he gets back there and he's like, wait, which team am I on again? And he throws it to the wrong fucking team. Why am I still going on with a football analogy? Even Nancy Pelosi chewed Chuck Schumer out over this stupid fucking vote. This was the only legislative leverage Democrats had and will have for a very long time. And it wasn't even like it was some unprecedented action. Every single time a Democrat is in office, Republicans try to tank the budget. Every single time. No, Chuckle fuck Schumer in the last fucking moment is like, oh, what if it gives Chairman Cow more power to keep gutting the government? You think this motherfucker's holding back on gutting the government because we had a budget? Are you fucking kidding me? Where the hell have you been? Amy, I don't know what comedy project you're working on right now, but you need to stop that and come and get your uncle or whatever the fuck Chucky is to you and bring him to a home. It's time. We don't want him here anymore. I just don't get it. A government shutdown would have been wildly unpopular for Republicans. It would have stopped a lot of what they're trying to do in its tracks. And then Republicans in Congress would have had to deal with their constituents being pissed the fuck off when their welfare checks stopped coming in, when the services they relied on stopped coming in, when federal employees were being forced to work for free. All of those people would have been blowing up their Republican representatives' emails and inboxes and phones, and that would have put the right pressure on them to force them to come to the table and allow Democrats to play hardball. They could have said absolutely no budget gets passed while there's a rabid doge running through Washington. They could have said absolutely not on a bunch of spending cuts for vulnerable communities. Could have said absolutely not on firing any more federal workers. They would have had the ability to force Trump and the Republicans' hands to not be so fucking batshit insane and come back to reality just a little bit. And it was the only bargaining chip they had. And there was nothing to lose. Yes, it would have put a few temporary pain points on some people that have the same pain points right now because they are already gutting all of the same things that the shutdown would have affected. But no, that's not what we do. Democrats stood up there and they're like, hey guys, you see this lever? This is the one single lever of power we have right now. Should we pull it? Every single constituent that isn't in a cult in the United States screamed at the same time with a resounding fuck yes, do something, do anything already. Pull the lever. Pretend you're a gambling addict in Vegas and that lever's the first slot machine you saw when you walked into the casino and pull that fucker. Chuck's like, okay guys, I'll do it. And we're all like, yes. Finally, for the love of God, something is going to happen. Then Chuck's like, you know, on second thought, it would be really mean of the tolerant left to be intolerant to the fascists who are destroying our country. And, you know, they're working really hard to just lay waste to everything. And it's going to be harder for them to do that if we don't give them a budget. And, you know, if I pull the lever, Donald Trump might say mean things about me and that could hurt my feelings. And if I don't pull it, Donald Trump will pat me on the head and tell me I'm a good little boy. And I really like being told I'm a good little boy. Chuck, if I was in your state at this point, or in the state of any of the other 10 Democrats that you got to go along with this stupid fucking plan, I would vote for a Republican over you at this point. Because you know what? They honestly can't be any worse than you at this point. At least we know what the fuck we're going to get with them. You want to know why you guys keep losing fucking elections? This is why. You are why. Your inability to do fucking anything at all. Your inability to stand up to even the gentlest of fucking breezes is why. And John Fetterman, my God, can the people of Pennsylvania please get rid of that sweatshirt wearing fuck, like, now? Look, Fetty boy, just because you had a fucking stroke doesn't mean you need to try to give the rest of the country one with your bullshit. Congrats on somehow becoming more awful than Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin combined. Anyway, we are all but cooked, guys. This was the shot. This was the big power play that we were all waiting on. I mean, we still have the April 1st special election in Florida's 1st and 6th districts to hopefully tie up the House. I wouldn't hold my breath, or I would, I guess, if you don't want to be on this plane of existence anymore. I wouldn't blame you. But now, guys, here's the thing. If we really want to make any change or or affect this at all, it's not going to come from Dems at the federal level. Your states still wield a lot of power, though, and you have a lot more access to the politicians in them. So get your attorney generals to start suing the federal government over absolutely everything and anything they can fucking think of. Push your states to start passing legislation that'll help insulate your state from the fucking mayhem of the federal government. And if your state has state Supreme Court races, they are super, super important to pay attention to and vote in. There's one going on in Wisconsin right now. That vote is April 1st. And MAGA and Elon Musk is dumping tons and tons of money into that to make sure that they can control state politics as well. If you're in Wisconsin, make sure you get to the polls on April 1st and vote for Susan Crawford for Supreme Court. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. She is a nonpartisan candidate and the only option you have to make sure that the whole state isn't bought and paid for by a fucking billionaire. And in Florida's 1st and 6th, please, for the love of God, show us that you can just not Florida for once in your goddamn lives. Get out and vote April 1st as well. Because, guys, we are at the civil disobedience stage, and that's a lot easier to do with more support from your government, both local and on the federal level. And if we don't make it count right now, we are quickly going to get to the point where there will not even be an option for civil in our disobedience. And that is the last thing any of us should really, truly want. So organize in your local communities, build local community, and start harassing your local and state governments to make sure that they stand up to this bullshit. I know it's going to be really hard to celebrate St. Patrick's Day this weekend because none of us are feeling very lucky, but have some green beer because for the love of God, you know that every one of us needs it.